I'm Kimmy Efta. I am with Remax Grand in Grand Forks, North Dakota. I have a team of 4 members, and I've been in the business for about 10 years, and I have some new agents and then some experienced agents on my team. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit about me.
Yeah, thank you, Kimmy, for sharing and for being on this video today. So diving into the very first question, how you may not remember, but how did you originally hear about Kee Technology?
So I was in the middle of switching websites. And as I was switching those websites, I was just kind of revamping how our team prioritizes leads and everything. And I was realizing it was going to take me an extensive amount of time to kind of clean up our CRM as we were revamping our website. And when I was doing that, I was just kind of researching, and I saw Kee Technologies pop up in a Facebook group of who can help kind of organize your leads. And I was like, perfect timing with changing our website and getting our leads all organized.
Oh, very cool. So how long had you been using Follow Up Boss before you started working with us?
Oh gosh, I think I've been using, I can't remember exactly, but I believe it's been like 2 or 3 years I've been using Follow Up Boss. I've switched over as an individual agent a few years ago, and then I hired in an admin to help me. And then as our team started growing, it just got bigger and bigger. And I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be a big monster if I just manage it myself. So then then I reached out to you, and I think I even messaged Follow Up Boss just asking, hey, can I have some help with this? And they said they don't do that, so we had to find somebody that would be able to help me.
Okay, so can you share a little bit more about like what had you set up in Follow Up Boss? Had you done anything, or are you just starting from scratch before we started working together?
So when I was using Follow Up Boss, I had a few action plans, but they were hit or miss, and they didn't really do what I wanted to do or say what I wanted it to say. And all of a sudden I'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot to do this. And then I'd have to go back in, and it was like a couple months later, a past client was getting a, hey, it was great working with you email, which is like, the timing wasn't making sense. But now with the processes we have, it's, if you do it on that date, it automatically triggers those responses and those emails, and it is really nice in that sense.
Well, that's awesome to hear. So besides knowing that you needed outside help, you didn't want to just do the CRM build out yourself, what ultimately led you to decide to hire us rather than either hiring an in-house admin to do it, or maybe trying to find someone on another outside source like Fiverr or Upwork?
So what kind of led to hiring Kee Technologies was just looking at the reviews that you've received. And I watched YouTube videos like this one, just explaining kind of what you guys are doing. I even reached out and asked just to read some of the emails that you guys have set up, and looking at how they were already worded. And I was like, okay, that's what I want. So versus hiring somebody, I mean, the expense and looking at, okay, how much was Kee Technologies versus how much am I going to spend an hourly contracted labor to do this, and explain the real estate process to somebody that I don't even know, where it's like, no, you guys already have this in place, you have a proven track system and it works. So that's why we went with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. In your mind, I don't know if you got this far, but how much time do you think it would have taken someone in-house to do?
I think it would have probably taken at least a month or more. Because I mean, with all of the different protocols and the action plans and the emails and the text and there, I mean, it was mind-boggling how many you guys already had pre-written. And I didn't even think of those ones. So it's like, oh my gosh, there's ones I wasn't even thinking of that are in there that I really appreciated, because it's like, okay, that's going a step beyond of what I was even thinking. And I still don't think an in-house employee or a contracted labor would have figured some of those out, because they just check off the sheet. So having you guys show me what I'm probably missing was really nice.
Yeah, for sure. I know that's not something people may think about is the cost of hourly rate for a contractor plus the cost of your own time, what your own personal hourly rate to be if you have to teach and show that person exactly what you need to do. So yeah, definitely. So for I know you mentioned it briefly, but can you share a little bit more about what we did for you in Follow Boss?
So I hired Kee Technologies, and it was when I was converting from one website over to Ylopo. And I was like, okay, this is the perfect time to hire Kee Technologies to have those action plans in my follow-up boss when Ylopo goes live. So it was just having you guys make those action plans, create those lists of who we should be contacting and prioritize of who we should be contacting. We try to get to our list to 0 every day, who we need to call or contact or reach out to. But again, there's times where it's like, holy, there's one list in there that I'm still working on because it was a big one, and it's still showing up in my system, but it's one where I know I have to get that list down to 0, and it just kind of showing me who I need to call or who our team needs to call. And then I can see if my team is making calls or not too, or reaching out. So it is a nice thing as a team lead to see if we're contacting, are we reaching out to our folks in a timely manner? And if not, we got to have a discussion. So it does help me in that sense.
Yeah, that's nice about Follow Boss is everything's very transparent with the lists. You can drill down per agent and see who's falling behind, and you sort of use that goals section in Follow Boss to help supplement. Okay, you said your goal was this year. Your activities are not necessarily showing that you want to meet those goals. So yeah, I love the smart list and the reporting of Follow Boss. So besides having an easier way to locate who to call each day and having that accountability and Follow Boss, what sorts of results have you seen so far with the setup we provided?
So the one thing, well, the whole set it and forget it kind of thing, and I love it, but it's not a really set it and forget it. It messages my sphere and past clients for me, which is really nice because all of a sudden I get an email going, hey, it's nice to hear from you. And I'm like, what happened? Oh yeah, that email went out. So those are kind of fun. Even for me, just to see those emails come in from my past clients, like, oh, I really wanted to reach out, but then it automatically did it and then they responded. So it was really nice that way. I've gotten reviews back in an email form from my clients that I wasn't expecting. So it's just kind of nice hidden features that I'm like, oh, this is so handy in a sense. So I really like that part.
Yeah, that's so nice. So after we finished the setup, what was our support like for you? What did we just give you the build out and we said figure it out on your own, or can you share what that support was like after we finished?
So after it was finished, I had it set up where, okay, I didn't want it to go live right away because I don't believe my website was ready at the same time. So I had to make sure my website was ready to go with Ylopo. And then once that was ready to go, then I reached back out and said, okay, we're ready to go. Action plans activate. And I believe it was Kendra. I think it was Kendra. I can't remember all the names because it was such a seamless process. But we just went over how it works, how to change some of the processes. I believe I met with you too, just to go over the individual program too and what we need to do and my next step. So it was making sure that some of these processes actually happen in your market, read through the emails. And so I did, and what made those changes, but it was like, do not change the action plans because they are set up a certain way. So I knew that was like the big no. Don't do that. So that was nice. And then just providing the process to my team, like, hey, here's what we have set up in our system. Here's who you need to focus on every day. And it's just been nice in having that system.
Yeah. Our main goal is to make it as simple as possible. So focus on your list, make your calls. If you need, change the stage. And that's it. You want to make it as simple as possible for you, the owner, and for the agents as well. Last question for you. If someone were on the fence about working with us, what would you tell them?
So if you're on the fence to hire Kee Technologies or not, you need to do your research and figure out like how many hours do you have to train somebody else to create a system that they already have proven that works and is already ready to go and set up. Their processes maybe take, I think it was 2 weeks turnaround from the day I contacted you guys to when it was ready, where it's like, oh my gosh, if I had to hire somebody in Fiverr or Upwork, I would might still be waiting for some of those action plans to be written, because there's time where I would have to go and explain what I need, here's what I need, and do it this way. And it still might be not be correct. So having Kee Technologies already have that set up, it's been a seamless process, and the time and the timing of it.
Wow, that's so wonderful. Thank you for sharing your insights. I appreciate your time, Kimmy.
Welcome. Yes, you're welcome.